The first time I uttered a prayer by Lee McCobb. Lee McCobb is an award-winning slam poet, content creator, and creative director. He is one of the founders of Vocal Revolutionaries, a non-profit organization focused on empowering creative African youth using digital art. Lee is also an LGBTQ activist, specifically referencing their experience as a black transgender immigrant in South Africa and America. His works and art are taught as part of university and college curriculum all across the world. He is also a trained traditional healer known as a Sangoma. Lee is currently working on a co-founded creative arts platform known as The Other Street, where he presents storytelling and advocacy for marginalized groups in Africa. McCobb is a TED Fellow and Adobe Creativity Scholar. This poem, which is autobiographical in touch, begins with a reference to a religious practice. In a church, the writer on his knees and he is praying, and he observes all the religious practices, dipping both his hands into holy water, tracing Trinity across his chest, and he found his own body like a question mark, and that question mark was, of course, related to his gender, because he belonged to the category of transgenders. The purpose of his prayer, as the writer declares, is to request Jesus to fix his gender. Since his gender became problematic, he wanted a proper answer from the God, but he was unable to get it. So he preferred to keep silent. But his mother, who supported our writer, told him that he was a miracle. His mother wanted to give positive energy to his son. Since his birth itself is a miracle, he has the advantage of declaring himself male or female, or he has the freedom to grow up to anything that he wanted. Here the writer uses a figure of speech, simile, when he says, the shame of being neither a boy nor a girl continued to bother him, just like the taste of something remains on the tongue even after finishing eating something. Finally, since there was no answer from God, he decided to be a boy. He opted the gender of a boy, and he experienced the happiness, of course, and he used to wear the dress of boys during that time, and he played like all other boys, and he was very happy. He began to enjoy the life of a boy, and he used to win all games normally the kids couldn't play, and he believed himself the mystery of an anatomy, or a question for which there is no answer. When he grew up, he found himself moving between two genders, of a boy and of a girl. And when he attained the age of 12, things began to change. Of course, the notion of gender began to disturb the writer. When he grew up, society began to force him to accept the role of a woman, especially the aged people of his family. They advised him to follow a particular style of living so that he may get a husband, he may engage in marriage, childbearing, and the aged people or the elders of the family made him believe that he was born to perform these duties. But he was capable enough to dismiss all those words of the elders of the family. As the days passed, the pressure exerted on him by the society also increased. When he went to school, he faced a lot of problems from the part of his own classmates who called them lesbian without knowing his real gender identity. But he firmly believed that he was neither boy nor girl, or maybe above all these genders. The image of a house comes here. He began to consider his body a house. He never hated his body, even though a number of mental tortures he had to undergo because of the same problem. He says that when the house falls apart, we never desert the house or we never leave the house. Instead, we will try to repair it. We try to make it more beautiful. We try to make it more pretty so that people may come over and stay in the house. But his mother was not so happy by the lifestyle opted by the author. After all, she was under the control of the social standards of morality, or under the control of the words of the elders of the family. His mother was afraid, especially she was well aware of the destiny of other transgenders like Maya Hall, Leila Alcom, or Blake Brockington. They were either killed or faced their death so terrible. So she was afraid of the same destiny for her child also. Her child may become a topic of discussion among people. Of course, negative, considering her child as a shame. The writer says, the world is not even considering him as a human being. He is a ghost than flesh. He also says or expresses his anger over the attitude of the society towards people like him, that expressing gender is a trick by him. At the same time, he never forgot to mention the exploitation by the society. Here the author expresses his anger over the perspective of the society, and he says that in the coming future the number of transgenders will increase. By that time, being a transgender may not be a question in the society. Expressing his apprehension over this topic, the speaker tries to establish his identity. He tries to prove that his blood is similar to that of any other human being, even that blood which is used to wash the feet of Jesus Christ. But he is not ready to commit suicide like most of the transgenders did. That shows his determination to fight against the society, which considers him neither a boy nor a girl or not even a human being. And finally, he found his prayers getting stuck in his throat, or he realized that his gender has been fixed, and he was bold enough to declare before the world, "I just don't care." That was a great lesson which the God taught him, and he believed that God finally listened to his prayers and gave a proper answer that he can live in any fashion that he prefers, or he can live with any gender that he prefers. This poem addresses gender identity issues. It's about identity crisis imposed on transgender by the mainstream society. He discusses the fact that from his childhood he was taught various things by which he concluded that his state of gender, which is between male and female, is something that has to be cured, and he engages in prayer. But he was unable to get a proper answer from the God. As he grew up, the problems also grew. The trouble in distinguishing between homosexual and transgender was one of the problems that he faced and unable to solve. He tried to balance between a boy and a girl as far as gender is concerned. His mother tried to console him by telling him that he is a miracle and he has a freedom to grow up to be anything he wanted. But still, he realized that he is a question mark to all people around him. Towards the end of the poem, he becomes slightly pessimistic. He recognized one's emotion when one experiences non-acceptance by the people, while all religions advocate universal love, which is absent in the case of transgenders. He blames the society that it is not even ready to consider transgender human being. He gives examples of some transgenders who face their death without mercy. In this poem, he uses phrases, words which are highly powerful, which can communicate the issues of transgender. At the end of the poem, he declares that he prefers a solution for the entire problems faced by transgenders, and finally he was able to fix his gender with the help of God. he realized that God finally listened to his prayers.